Greetings and good day, my dear audience. First of all, it's a great pleasure to be a part of the International Technology Enhanced Language Learning Symposium ITELLS for the year 2022. I'm Thenmoli Veeran, one of your presenters in this symposium. Our research study wouldn't be possible without my teammates Mageswary Sivajanam, Geoffrey Lim Fu Chien, and Nur Amelia, binti Mohd Nadzrin. Special thanks and credits goes to both our dear lecturers, Professor Dr. Melor and Dr. Harwati, for being there throughout the study being conducted. Thank you once again. The title of our paper is E-Quizzes for Reading Literacy, Teachers' Perception. Close to our heart study with great insights for your reference. Education is the most powerful weapon that we can use to change the world. Members of the symposium. The use of technology in teaching, especially in language teaching, also known as ELT, has become a trend globally. In recent years, many educators have started to deliver lessons online using e-quizzes, including those in Malaysia, especially during pandemic COVID-19. However, the focus on reading literacy through e-quizzes is still not being prioritized and widely used among students by the teachers. This study explored the use of various e-quizzes in teaching students reading literacy and the perception of the teachers towards e-quizzes. Reading is not solely based on the learner's ability to recognize and articulate the words, ladies and gentlemen, but it goes further in comprehending the text implicitly and explicitly, applying the knowledge obtained from the text and evaluating the text. This statement has been given by PISA back in 2018. Thus, reading literacy portrays cognitive skills of the learner in making meaning out of the text. Members of the symposium, recently online classes have been in rising need ever since the pandemic COVID-19. The integration of ICT in teaching and learning sessions are often regarded as an e-learning and m-learning pedagogical approach led to transformation of more dynamic, engaging, and meaningful language learning experience. Hence, e-quizzes can be a part of online assessment for reading literacy in both assessment of learning and assessment for learning. The model adopted is Technology Acceptance Model, TAM, to examine the use and acceptance for e-quizzes among the target teachers. TAM is known as a distinguished model under the exploration of e-learning and m-learning approach. The aspect of perceived usefulness refers to teachers' belief that using technology will enhance his or her teaching eventually towards his or her students' performance level. Meanwhile, perceived ease of use is regarded as how effortless it is to utilize technology in their T&L, teaching and learning, ladies and gentlemen, based on their opinion. This statement has been mentioned by Mushroom back in 2007 in the research. Therefore, this study aims to answer these two research questions. Question number 1, ladies and gentlemen, how do teachers perceive the usefulness of e-quizzes in teaching reading literacy? The research question number 2, what are the teachers' perception in using e-quizzes in teaching reading literacy? Members of the symposium. The study applied a qualitative research method for your information. The respondents in this study consisted of 5 English teachers from SMK Kir Johari in Perak, Malaysia. Open-ended questionnaires and semi-structured interviews were adopted for answering both the research question. Meanwhile, observations with note-taking was carried out to consolidate the data found. The questions designed in both open-ended questionnaire and interview are based on the concept of TAM model. to determine the usefulness of e-quizzes and gain the perspectiveness of 5 targeted language teachers towards using their preferred online tools in reading lessons. The interview consisted of 4 questions and all of them were open-ended questions. All the lessons were recorded. All the data found used triangulation method to validate the findings for this paper. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the respondents are 3 female teachers and 2 male teachers. 2 of them have teaching experience of more than 10 years and 3 of them less than 10 years. The respondents are selected using a purposive sampling method for our qualitative paper. Members of the symposium, let us all look into the findings and discussion part of this study. Based on research question 1, how do teachers perceive the usefulness of e-quizzes in teaching reading literacy? For question 1, how do e-quizzes help you in preparing reading lessons? 3 teachers stated that e-quizzes help to save their time as well as in printing cost. 4 teachers mentioned that they are capable of preparing more quizzes based on the students' proficiency level. All the teachers agreed that a variety of questions can be included while conducting e-quizzes. One teacher claimed that she got a lot of ideas with the availability of question banks online. Some websites such as WordWall, Live Worksheets, Bluecut, and Quizzes have assembled online worksheets and quizzes designed by the teachers around the globe. This facilitates other teachers in obtaining useful resources and materials for their own use with their own students. This eventually helped the teachers to save a lot of their time in finding resources and materials. Question 2, ladies and gentlemen, how do e-quizzes help your students to learn in reading literacy lessons? 4 teachers stated that their students enjoy answering e-quizzes at home. 5 teachers mentioned that their students responded and they are to answer quizzes more freely and relaxed at home rather than having a traditional quiz being done at school. It actually allows students to be more comfortable and confident in conveying their ideas and opinions as they can get instant feedback. Students are able to get the overall picture of the given reading passage clearly with the support of videos and online dictionaries for a quick check on the meaning of the words mentioned in the e-quizzes. Question 3, ladies and gentlemen, how do e-quizzes help you to check students' progress in reading a literacy lesson? A very important element in teaching and learning. All 5 teachers stated that they use e-quizzes in both summative and formative assessments to check their students' progress in reading literacy. Through e-quizzes, the students' score appeared instantly for objective questions and teachers graded their answers for subjective questions. Thus, easier for the teachers to track and trace the students' results. In the matter of improvement, e-quizzes also allow teachers to check students' progress as the scores can be compared from one task to another. Question 4. How do e-quizzes help you to assess the students' reading literacy? 4 teachers believe that e-quizzes are considered as a great tool for assessment among the students. 3 teachers claimed that it is a fun way to have e-quizzes as a way for students to sit for examination rather than the traditional one. All 5 teachers also agreed that it is easier to grade and provide feedback instantly using e-quizzes. All 5 teachers also agreed that the data for all the assessment through e-quizzes can be easily retrieved. Question 5 for the questionnaire, ladies and gentlemen. In what other way would you rather use e-quizzes for? All 5 teachers would use e-quizzes to teach students on vocabulary. 2 teachers would use e-quizzes for teaching writing skills, such as teaching the students about the writing format. Alright, e-quizzes are easily accessible by the students at any time and anywhere in a fun and interactive mode, as all the teachers mentioned that grammar components and sentence constructions can be taught easily. Now, let's look into the research question 2, where we have conducted the interview session. Question 1. Do your students actually like e-quizzes in reading literacy? How do you observe? Students enjoy having e-quizzes, as they have mentioned. Immediate feedbacks were actually given by them and the results actually boost the students' confidence in order for them to work harder in their work. Check the meaning online. Active active interaction from the students and high enthusiasm was achieved among majority of their students, which have been mentioned by all the teachers. Question 2. What do you think about your students' acceptance towards e-quizzes in teaching reading literacy? Active participation were obtained from all their students. Greater progress was seen compared to the traditional method of teaching back in school. Engaging layouts as the interactive layouts grabbed the students' attention in attempting the e-quizzes, and it definitely boosts their motivation to attempt the best possible. Let us all look into question 3, ladies and gentlemen, for the interview session. What do you think are the challenges in using e-quizzes in teaching reading literacy? Instability of the platform due to the internet connection issue were also mentioned by them. Challenging to use technology, where some technology online platforms need extra attention from the teachers to actually learn, grasp the information before applying it for the students. That is for question 3. Question 4, the final question for the interview session. What do you think are the benefits in using e-quizzes in teaching reading literacy? The teachers have mentioned that it is beneficial for formative evaluation, enhance and monitor their respective students' progress. Lastly, less anxious during assessment, as students tend to answer the e-quizzes in a better, calm way. So that is for research question 2, that we have gained the information through interview among our 5 respondents. And we also conducted our observation session, where each teacher we observed once. So for the first element, when it comes to setting up the quizzes to teach reading literacy, 3 teachers used Google Form, 1 teacher used live worksheets, and 1 teacher used quizzes. The teachers included media such as audio, video, and pictures. Element 2, the students interact actively during reading lessons. Was it achieved? Student asked more questions during the lesson. Yes, definitely it proved that element 2 was achieved. Teachers allowed the students to discuss. Students discussed actively amongst themselves and leaves comments on Google Classroom. Element 3, the students answered the quizzes within the time frame. Did they or didn't they? Teachers set a time limit for students to answer the quizzes. Students were able to finish the questions in the given time frame. Element 4, the teachers uses e-quizzes to assess pupils' understanding of the text and passage. Comprehension questions are used, especially WH questions. Vocabulary questions were asked, and students find a contextual clue. The questions used were multiple choice questions, open-ended questions, and HOTS questions such as opinions and point of view asked among their students. These were all the findings and discussions that we have gained in our study. Right, we are now looking into the conclusion of our study for this symposium. This study actually analyzed the preferred online platforms of e-quizzes by the teachers in developing students' reading literacy and the teachers' perception towards the use of various e-quizzes. Their preferences and perception were analyzed from 3 different aspects: the usefulness, the feasibility, and readiness. This is to ensure the versatility of pedagogical approach is obtained for reading literacy, with the implementation of e-quizzes in teaching and learning process for a long term. The study could be further done by focusing on the students' perception instead in e-quizzes, as their experience could further validate the effectiveness of e-quizzes. It is recommended that future research can also be carried out on other skills such as listening, speaking, and writing as well for primary school levels. That is all from us for our study for this symposium. Thank you so much once again for this great opportunity, everyone, and have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.